What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Gaia the Fierce Knight deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck is an extremely nostalgic deck that can OTK like crazy. This deck even got an amazing new boss monster in the form of Dark Magician, the Knight of Dragon Magic, which is a super powerful card in this build. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name description for every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Gaia the Magical Knight. This card is an amazing 3-up to play in the deck because it's the best normal summon in the deck. Because this card is always treated as a Gaia the Fierce Knight card, helping you go in for a bunch of fusion plays. But this card has a great ability that if you control no monsters, or if your opponent controls a monster with 2300 or more attack, you can normal summon this card without tributing, and if it's normal or special summon, you can special summon a level 5 dragon monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position, which is a great effect to be able to combo with our Curse of Dragon monster so we can go in for some really powerful fusion plays. We then play 3 copies of Curse of Dragon, the Cursed Dragon. This card is a definite 3-up in the deck because this card has an amazing effect. If it's normal or special summon, you can add a spell or trap card from your deck to your hand that specifically lists the card Gaia the Dragon Champion in its text from your deck to your hand, which is a really cool ability to combo with your copy of Gaia the Magical Knight, because all you have to do is normal summon this card while this card's in your hand, and then you can special summon out the copy of the Curse of Dragon, the Cursed Dragon, and then search out Spiral Fusion so you can go in for a fusion play, which is so cool about this deck, that this deck has so many cool 2-card combos like this one in the deck. I love these 2 cards together in any opening hand because it's going to instantly get you to a fusion play, which is super cool. We then play a single copy of Curse of Dragonfire. This card is a good 1-up in the deck that basically is a walking polymerization. We then play 3 copies of Artillery Catapult Turtle. This card is really good as a 3-up in the deck because it's instantly going to get you to a copy of your Gaia or a copy of a Curse of Dragon on your side of the field by tributing a monster on the field, which makes it really good to be able to instantly get to the play that you need off of this card's ability. We then play 3 copies of Magician Souls. Magician Souls is a great draw engine in the deck, and I absolutely love playing this card as a 3-up now that we have a Dark Magician fusion for this deck. But this card is amazing because it can let you draw 2 cards or instantly special summon out your copy of Dark Magician, which is such a powerful effect off this card's ability, and it helps you go in for your fusion plays because it gets Dark Magician on your side of the field, which is really good. We then play a single copy of the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense, the Dark Magician. You really only need a single copy in this build, as we're playing so many ways to get this card out with your copies of Magician Souls, and our ways to get to Magician Souls, making it just a good 1-up so we can go in for fusion plays. We then play 2 copies of Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. This card is a classic nostalgic boss monster that's very easy to summon in this deck because we play a light monster in the form of our Gaia, and all the other monsters in the deck except for our copy of Artillery Catapult Turtle are all dark, making it super easy to be able to summon out your copy of the Blackluster Soldier by just banishing a light and dark monster from the graveyard, and it's super easy to put on your side of the field. I absolutely love this card as a 2-up in the deck because it gives you a really powerful boss monster by just banishing your light and dark monster from the grave that you no longer need. We then play a single copy of Illusion of Chaos. Illusion of Chaos is how we search out our copy of Magician Souls, and this card is great in the deck because you only have to reveal this card in your hand to either add a Dark Magician or a non-ritual monster that mentions it from your deck to your hand, and then place a card from your hand on top of your deck, which is usually going to be the copy of Illusion of Chaos that you're putting on top of your deck off its own effect, so you can search it later off the copy of Preparation of Rites. This card is a really good 1-up in the deck, so we can get to our copy of Magician Souls, and in turn get to our copy of Dark Magician even easier in this build. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start off with a single copy of Terraforming. Terraforming is a definite one of in the deck, so we play 6 field spells in this build, so this card is just really good at getting to our field spells. We then play a single copy of Set Rotation. Set Rotation is really good as a one of in the deck, because again, we play 6 field spells in the deck, so you can give your opponent a field spell, and we can get a field spell, which is going to thin the deck, and both of the field spells we play in the deck, Search, which just makes it really good to be able to play this card in the build, making it so that we always have access to one of our field spells so we can use it to search out combo pieces to go in for fusion plays. We then play a single copy of Instant Fusion. This card is a great extender in the deck because we play one really good target in the extra deck, which is really good to be able to use this card to be able to summon it out to our side of the field. We then play 2 copies of Preparation of Rites. Preparation of Rites is a definite 2-of in the build because this card searches out our copy of Illusion of Chaos, making it a really good 2 in the deck, so that we're basically playing 3 copies of Illusion of Chaos so we can get to our copies of Magician Souls even faster in this build. We then play 2 copies of Ultra Polymerization. This card is a really good 2-of in the deck because this card lets you pay 2,000 life points to be able to fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using 2 monsters that you control as fusion material, and neither player can activate cards in response to this card's ability, making this card a speed spell for Polymerization, which is crazy powerful. This card also has the ability to banish this card from the graveyard and then target one fusion monster that was fusion summoned with this card's effect, and then special summon all the fusion materials used for that monster's fusion summon back to your side of the field, but change your attack and defense to 0, and also they have their effects negated, which is a great effect to be able to use this card because usually you're going to normal summon out your copy of your Gaia the Magical Knight, especially not the Curse of Dragon to your side of the field, search Spiral Fusion, then you can activate this card first to be able to make a copy of your Gaia Fusion monster, and then it'll bring them back to your side of the field, so then you can then use Spiral Fusion to go in for a second Gaia Fusion using your Spiral Fusion, which is crazy powerful that you're basically getting 2 fusion monsters for the price of 1. I love that about this card, and it's super powerful. We then play 2 copies of Spiral Spear Strike. Spiral Spear Strike is a really good 2-of in the deck that just helps out a lot because when a Gaia the Fierce Knight, a Swift Gaia the Fierce Knight, or a Gaia the Dragon Champion on your side of the field attacks, it actually does piercing damage, which is really good. And if Gaia the Dragon Champion inflicts battle damage to your opponent, then you get to draw 2 cards and then discard a card, helping you just dig into the deck. And this card also stacks, which is really nice. We then play 3 copies of Spiral Fusion. Spiral Fusion is a card you want to get to extremely quickly in the deck because it's the main way we're going to be fusion summoning in the deck, because it lets you fusion summon a dragon fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material, and if you special summon a Gaia the Dragon Champion by this effect, it gains 2600 attack, and it can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase, which is really good to help us OTK. We then play 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance. Pot of Extravagance is really good in this deck as a 3-of, just to help you draw into the deck and get more combo pieces out of the deck, and it's a really good 3-of in this build. We then play 3 copies of Gateway to Chaos. Gateway to Chaos is really good as a 3-of in the build as well, because when this card is activated, you can actually add a Gaia the Fierce Knight monster from your deck to your hand, which is really good to help you get your copy of Gaia the Magical Knight, because it's always treated as a Gaia the Fierce Knight card. We then play 3 copies of Galloping Gaia. Galloping Gaia is really cool in this deck because you basically reveal a copy of Curse of Dragon to search Gaia, and if you have a copy of Gaia in the hand, you reveal your copy of Gaia to search Curse of Dragon, letting you get the exact combo piece that you need, because if you're missing the dragon, you reveal Gaia to get dragon. If you reveal dragon, you get Gaia, which is just super cool to get the exact combo piece that you're missing with this card. We then play 3 copies of Book of Eclipse. Book of Eclipse is really good because we have a bunch of ways to do piercing damage in the deck, and this card helps you flip your opponent's monsters face down so that you can then swing into them with your copies of your Gaia monsters doing piercing damage so that you can OTK. I really love this card as a 3-of, and it helps you ensure that you're going to OTK the opponent. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, since we are playing Pot of Extravagance in the deck, we're playing a lot of 3Fs, so keep that in mind as you see the extra deck. So we're going to start off with 3 copies of the new Dark Magician Fusion, which is going to be 3 copies of Dark Magician, the Knight of Dragon Magic. This card is really cool in the deck, and it actually works better in this deck than it does in the Dark Magician deck, which is crazy. This card has the ability that it just takes a Dark Magician plus a level 7 or higher Dragon or Warrior monster to make this card, so you can even use the Blackluster Soldier plus a copy of Dark Magician to make this card, which is insane. And if your monster attacks a defensive monster, this card gives all your monsters piercing damage, which is really good. And once per turn, when your monster destroys a monster by battle, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to that destroyed monster's original attack. And if this card is destroyed, you can special summon both a Dark Magician and a Gaia the Dragon Champion from your hand, deck, extract, and or graveyard, which is a great ability that this card replaces itself with the original Gaia the Dragon Champion and a Dark Magician. We then play 3 copies of Gaia, the Magical Knight of Dragons. This is one of the best cards in the entire deck, because this card is the OTK piece that you're going to be summoning all the time. This card's name becomes Gaia the Dragon Champion while on the field, and you can only use each of the following effects this card once per turn. During the main phase, quick effect, you can target one other card on the field, and this card loses exactly 2,600 attack points, and if it does, destroy that card. But Spiral Fusion will give this card an additional 2,600 attack points, giving you the ability to pop cards with this card, which is really good. If you use this effect and you just fusion summon it regularly, this card will go down to 0 attack points, but it also has a really good ability that when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can make this card gain 2,600 attack points, which is really good to be able to use with this card. We then play 3 copies of Sky Galloping Gaia. This card is great because it does search out your copy of Spiral Spear Strike, which is why we play this card as a 3-of in the deck, and it's really good in this particular build because this card does have the ability that when this card declares an attack on an opponent's monster, you can actually change the battle position of that monster, which is great for your cards because your copy of your new Dark Magician Fusion gives you piercing damage. We then play 3 copies of the original Gaia Fusion monster, and the really cool thing about these is I actually have all 3 of the misprints right here, which is really cool. We have the original one with the silver text, we have the one right here that is actually a original one that has the ultra rare foiling for the name, and then this one is actually a reverse foil with the ultra rare name, which is really cool that we have all 3 for this particular line. I love that about this card. These were actually super hard to find, but it's really cool to play all 3 of them in the deck because you can use them with the new Dark Magician Fusion. And give us a like and subscribe, guys, for having all 3 of the misprints, or both the 2 misprints and the original, which is just super cool. We then play 3 copies of Curse of Dragon, the Magical Knight Dragon. This card is really cool because it basically turns your fusion spells into Miracle Fusion, which is really cool. Usually you make this card first, which is really nice because if you fusion summon a level 7 Dragon Fusion monster, you can also banish monsters from your graveyard as materials, which is really good because it also has the ability, if this card is fusion summoned, you can actually target a spell or trap card in the graveyard that mentions a Gaia the Dragon Champion and add it back to your hand. So if you fusion summon this card first using Spiral Fusion, you can then grab Spiral Fusion back to your hand and then drop Spiral Fusion again because it's not once per turn, and make a copy of the Gaia the Magical Knight of Dragons, which is really nice about this card because it gives you 2 fusion monsters and turns your fusion spells basically into Miracle Fusion. I love that about this card, and it's really helpful in the deck. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below. It's super fun to be able to play. It's very easy to OTK your opponent, and it's basically like if Yugi had a modern day deck, because you get to play Dark Magician, Blackluster Soldier, Gaia, Curse of Dragon, Gaia the Dragon Champion. All those really nostalgic cards are in this deck, which is really, really cool. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.